So I either tell people, I'm like, just wait to see how he reacts to adversity. That will dictate a lot. And ego is huge, especially in young people. Like, I sold 30 grand a month. I don't need to listen to anybody. They ride that ego, but you can't have a big business and a big ego. You got to have one or the other.
Right. Do this every day at your office.
Yep, 6 days a week.
How many people show up?
Almost the whole office. Tampa's struggling a little bit, but we're getting that back up.
Yeah.
Hurricane, people went home, slept in their bed too much, but
Got it.
we're getting that back up.
But every day, what are you going over? What are you talking about?
Objections, leadership training, recruiting, marketing, going over almost everything that it takes to be successful in the insurance industry.
Got it. Well, I have some questions here because I'm sure you deal. I mean, how many agents do you have selling on a monthly basis
250.
right now? 250 every month. So I know you've dealt with these questions, and it's what's cool about our business is once you've sold for a couple of years, you've run into every situation that an agent's going to run into. Every situation. Like there's nothing that even now, like I've been in the field in years, but a situation you're going to bring up, like I remember that. I know how you handle that because it's like you got like a box of clients, like the same few clients for the most part. Everyone says the same stuff. They have the same objections. They have the same questions, partly because our industry, I think, is very predictable. It's a lead-based sale. The products are the products. We always target the same demographic, if you will. We're big on middle America. We're not chasing down, the yacht owners and stuff like that. So it's once you've done this for a period of time, it becomes very predictable.
100%.
Like, I mean, you do these trainings. How many times are you answering the same damn questions?
Every single day.
Every day.
Gets repetitive.
Yeah.
100%.
So I'm going to ask you some things that agents they do run into, but I don't want to know how you handle the client. I want to know how you help coach the agent through that, right? Like, there's sometimes agents have trouble getting information, right? Like, so let's say I'm a brand new agent. I go, Jay, listen, man, I just had trouble getting the banking information this week, man. Everyone I ask is like, why do you need that? What's that for? I'm not comfortable giving that out. So if I come to you with that, how do you coach me through that?
If you can't get the banking, it's definitely confidence. Because if you got the social, you're getting you got to get the banking. Because common sense says you give out your social, you're gonna give out your bank account.
Yeah.
But the way I coach agents is there's a difference between objections and questions. Like, I don't give out my bank account. That's an objection. Why do you need my bank account? Your life insurance policy. You got to pay for it.
Right.
So, and a lot of agents, they'll be like, why do you need my bank account? And then they'll go on a 10-minute spurt of why they need the bank account instead of just your life insurance. Like the other day, guy's like, I don't give out my social. I'm like, me neither. He goes, okay, 33 blank, 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 blank. And all I did was me neither. And didn't say a word.
Yeah.
Get out the whole thing. It was just breaking it down and not overcomplicating it, which is what Sean's really good at, which is what I implement in my business, is just not overcomplicating it. Know the difference between an objection and a question.
Yeah. Because if you go on that 10-minute diatribe of why you need, dude, first of all, you look desperate.
100%.
You sound like you're up to something. Because, like, it is that simple. It's like, why do you, because you got to pay for the policy somehow, dude. Like, it's not free. When you go to the store and buy your groceries, do you not swipe your card?
Yeah.
You don't think they have your account information? Same thing.
Another common sense thing is, like, back in the day, like the people we work with, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s sometimes, is they used to hand out checks.
Right.
Bottom left, bottom right, count, routing number, used to hand that out. Like,
correct.
You hand that out to a random kid down the street. You promise you're going to have to do it for your life insurance.
Yep, absolutely. Just when I've had clients, like, back in the day, they were older, like, I'm not going to give you my account information, but I'll give you a voided check. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, that works. That works fine.
Yeah,
it's like the same. It's right there.
Yeah.
But to your point, it's how you respond to it.
Agreed.
If you treat it like a big deal, your clients will treat it like a big deal.
And that's what I've learned is, like, they'll be like, I'm not going to give that out. I don't give out their information. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to give you life insurance.
Yeah.
I'm like I'll go on to the next person because I don't want to waste my time or your time. I'm like, all right, fine. Like,
right.
Here.
That's a good point too. So early on, I feel like a lot of agents spend too much time in their appointments.
I agree, man.
Right when you're brand new.
100%.
Because part of it is that learning curve to even book an appointment, number one. So now you have one. Now you're there. Yeah. The last thing you want to do is not help this client, right? Like,
agreed.
Dude, I'm sure you remember your first appointment.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in there like, dude, this is it. This is life or death. If I don't protect this one, I'm done. Like, my career's over. Well, it's like, dude, you're going to meet with thousands of clients over the course. But when you realize an agent's spending too much time in an appointment, because what happens is you make friends, right? If I'm your friend, it's easy for me to go, nah, Jay, I'm good on the insurance, bro. I'll let you
cancel.
know. Yeah. Or I'll do it and cancel. Like, yeah, I do. Listen, man, I had something come up. But how are you diagnosing that issue? Like they're in the appointment too long. How are you working them? How do you work through that?
How I work through it is just letting them know the longer you're on a presentation, the more comfortable that they're going to get with you.
Yeah.
And that was a huge thing for me is like, or they'll let the client like rant for 20 minutes about why their dog died. And it's like, Joe, I'm here to give you life insurance, not talk about why your dog died.
Yeah.
So like that was the biggest thing. I just think they're too scared or nervous to not necessarily cut them off, but let them know like, hey, I'm your life insurance agent, not your best friend. And that's why I tell everybody when I'm on the phone, it's like, hey, I'm not here to be your best friend. I'm here to give you the life insurance that you requested. So like, I'm here to give it to you. I'm not here to be your best friend. If you have any questions, I'll answer them. But just diagnosing the fact that if they're on a sit for too long, it's just hurting them. Yeah. And it is hurting them long term. Maybe not short term because they might get the sale, but they're going to be more comfortable canceling, not caring if it's insufficient funds. But the more stern and strict you are, the more they're going to be like, all right, I need this, I'm not going to cancel. Like he might come to my doorstep and be like, yo, why the hell did you cancel? Right. Stuff like that. But
and you can do it in a simple way. Like, hey, man, that's awesome story, but I have an appointment in like 20 minutes. So I just want to make sure I get, your stuff done first.
100%.
Just move on. You don't have to, hey, shut up about your dog. You have to be an ass about it. But you have to remember that you're in control.
100%.
Well, what do you think some of the you do a lot of new agents, right, as you're growing. What are some of the most common speed bumps that you have to help these agents overcome? Is it confidence, work ethic? What is some that you see the most?
The most is probably habits, like small discipline habits.
Okay.
It's because like you can't, I believe I'm huge on personal development dictates your level of income. They think they can just come in and just work whenever they want, do whatever they want, which sure, you're 1099, do whatever you want. Right. But if you want to be successful, here's the schedule, right? I feel like they stick to it. Like a new agent comes in really excited. But obviously that excitement goes down once they get punched in the face. And they don't realize like they'll run the schedule for like a week or two, get no results. Like the schedule doesn't work. It's like, hey, I'm here.
Right.
You guys know how much money I make. I ran the exact same schedule. It might not work for the first week or two, maybe not even the first month or two. Right. But you run that schedule consistently for a long period of time, it's going to work. Yeah. And getting them to understand that, because it's hard to work 12 hours a day, get no results, and say, hey, you have to do that again. Right. And then again, and then again. And like, dude, you're driving me insane. It's like, haven't seen any results. It's like, the results here, I'm standing here, I'm breathing. Yeah.
Well, we've all had those days, though.
100%.
Like, do you remember one of your worst days in the field?
Yeah, I'm like, this makes no sense. Why am I doing this?
What was it like? How many did you sit? Or
well, so it was my worst day ever was I went 0 for like 13 appointments. Yeah. And then I had to just sit back. I started wanting to blame people. I just sit back and just be like, what did I do? You've been in insurance long enough, 0 out of 13 is like, you did something
wrong. Right, something ain't right.
Yeah, you did something wrong. So like that was my biggest time. I was like,
and were you already, like, were you selling for a period of time already? This wasn't your first day out, obviously.
No, I was selling. It was probably like 3 or 4 months in to FFL that I was selling. And then I just had like a few weeks where it was just self-sabotage, like waking up, like, why am I doing this? What's the purpose? Like, do I want to do this? It was just like the self-sabotage. Because I feel like agents self-sabotage themselves before the sit. Like, they'll close somebody, they'll go through the app, and they're like, as they get to their social, like, oh my God, they're hanging up on social, they're going to hang up on social. And then they hang up on the social.
Right. The sales in general, it can be a roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny because it all depends on the individual. Some people struggle more with the highs, some people struggle more with the lows. But riding the highs can mess you up.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, you talking about worst day. I remember my worst day, I was 0 for 10. Same deal, though. I'd already been here 3 or 4 months. I'd already sold at the time. At the time, selling 20K was like selling 40. Yeah. I was doing 20K a month, no problem. Then I had a day. I had over 10 appointments set. I sat with 10 in this day. Didn't close a single one. I remember calling Sean after like the 4th one. He didn't even say hello anymore. Did you close something? Like, I just closed my door leaving that appointment. I didn't close shit today. But I looking back, I realized what I was doing. I rode the high because I was, month after month, I'm closing. I close everybody I sit with. And then you start skipping out on the small things. Yeah. You talking about habits. Yeah. You don't need them anymore, right? I've arrived, right? How do you deal with that? I'm sure you see, especially young agents, right? Like, oh my goodness. Dude, Jay, I sold 10 out of 10 yesterday. I don't need to do that.
Like, I don't need to listen to you anymore. Yeah. Yeah, no. Quick success builds ego, slow success builds character. So, like, I always tell people, like, if I have an agent first 30 days, wrote 30 grand of business in a month. I'll bring them up on stage, and everybody's like, they think I'm going to glorify them. I'm like, I can't wait till you get adversity because that's going to show me whether you're going to quit or not. Because I didn't make money for my first 2.5 months. Yeah. So, like, when I didn't make money, then I made money, then didn't make money, I was like, okay, I've been here before.
Right.
They hit a high right off the rip. They ain't never been down low before. So, I either tell people, I'm like, just wait to see how he reacts to adversity. That will dictate a lot. And ego is huge, especially in young people. Like, I sold 30 grand a month. I don't need to listen to anybody. They ride that ego, but you can't have a big business and a big ego. You got to have one or the other. Right. Sean taught me that, and I live by that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you do see it, and it makes me nervous when you see someone brand new come out and have like a massive first week.
Oh my gosh.
Like, oh, dude.
I'm like, I want you to make no money your first month.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see how you react to it.
Yep.
Not literally no money, but you get my point. It's like I want you to suck so bad your first month you think about quitting, and I want to see how you react.
Yep. Because, I mean, salespeople have egos anyways, right? Yeah. So it's like you're telling them, hey, you got to do this, X, Y, here's the way to do it. Then they went out and had success their first week. Now they're like, dude, I hear you, Jay, but look at my first week result. Look what I just did.
I'm like, all right, I'm not going to talk to you for 2 weeks. And you'll come back.
Now, going on that, how do you help agents when they're down? Because that's a – like, I don't know which one's worse, riding the highs, low, but you can ride the lows too, man. You could have been great all year long. All of a sudden you have that day, like we're talking about, the 0 for 10, 0 for 13, and now you're like, it's the end of the world. I should quit. I can't do this. This is horrible. This sucks. They suck. Like, how do you help that agent who's kind of down in the dumps, if you will?
Putting them into perspective. I'm like, man, you're down in the dumps while building a business. Like, look how grateful you are. And Sean put this perspective in me. He's like, hey, while you're sad nobody bought insurance from you, there's a 4-year-old girl where the doctor said you have 6 months to live. Right. So I always just put it in perspective. I'm like, be grateful to even have a low, because there's other people that their low is they're going to die in 2 months. Correct. Like, our low is somebody didn't buy a policy. And putting it in perspective in a common sense standpoint is like, damn, like, he's right. Like, somebody didn't answer the phone, somebody didn't buy. Like, there's worse things out there. Like, you're growing a business. Like, know the business, like, you might not be profitable for 2 or 3 years because you're dumping money right back into it to scale it. Right. So, like, just putting it into perspective for people and letting them know, like, because most of my agents at start, it's a air mattress army. Yeah. Like, we're talking 5-bedroom house with 20 dudes in it, air mattresses everywhere, air mattress in the kitchen. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I've been there though. Right. I was like, your low is you're sleeping on an air mattress. I did that. Look where I'm at. Look where Sean's at. Yeah. Look where other people, Juan Franco, look where other people in the insurance industry are at. And I was always huge on, like, if he can do it, I can do it. Yeah. And that's what I'm big on is, like, they're really low. And I'm like, dude, look at this guy over here. Like, if he can do it, like, you can do it. And nobody's special. Like, I graduated high school, 1.8 GPA, like 14 on the ACT. You get a 12 for writing your name on it. So I was like, I'm not special, man. Like, I looked at the lows from a different perspective. Yeah.
It's all about perspective, dude.
The whole thing.
It's funny you say that, a bunch of dudes shacked up. I remember my first convention. It was a different company, but I had no money. I just got licensed, and I'm like, but it's all about perspective. I knew, like, we're going to figure this out. Yeah. Wrote a couple policies on people I knew because they needed insurance. That paid for my plane ticket. And it wasn't $100. And be like, you charge $100, dude. This was 15 years ago. We were paying $500, $600, $700, $800 just to get in the door, to then not even be trained because they didn't tell us how to sell insurance. They just talked about all the shit they had, and we did, and it was great. It made you feel wonderful. Yeah. But it's all about the perspective. I agree. I don't do sick. Like, I don't get sick. That sounds crazy. No, I tell myself that all the time. Yeah, I'll get a sinus infection, something, but to me, that's not sick. Sick is I got cancer. Sick is I got lupus. Sick is I have health conditions to where I can't control. A lot of this, my nose is stuffy. Who gives a shit?
I agree.
Who cares? Blow your nose, shut the F up, and go to work.
That's what my dad taught me. And it was just like, my dad was, like, I remember one time my dad pulled stitches out of my face one time, like right here. Yeah. I'm crying, I'm moaning, and he's like, crying is not going to make the pain go away, right? Right. And I was like, I literally was taught to, like, think past pain. Like, I was taught, like, pain ain't going to fix it, so why are you thinking about it? Right. So, that's what I'm huge on is, like, just, there's worse things out there. You're breathing, you're fine. Sinus infections, that ain't nothing. There's somebody out there dying right now. Like, put things in perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all mindset, though.
It is.
I mean, how much, I know you're a big believer in this mindset, but, like, what you say, how much do you watch what you say?
A lot. Like, I'll catch myself in the office. You can ask anybody. I'm like, I'll say I'm tired. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, right after, I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not tired. I'm not tired. Right. And then no, I'm not. And, like, this day, the day's going by, so no, it's not. It's going by fast. Like, I always catch myself and I correct myself.
Yeah. Dude, it goes a long way.
I agree.
I mean, the voice you listen to the most is your own.
Yeah.
So if you're with us and you go, I can never sell IULs, you're right, you couldn't.
No.
Because you're saying that.
You're already
Don't say
defeating
it.
yourself before you even trying it.
How about I can't sell them yet? I'm learning. Like I do this with my kids. Daddy, I can't. No, don't say that. I'm not able yet. I'm learning how. But just change the way you process. Change what you say.
We have a thing in the office a couple agents started where if you say try, you got to do 20 push-ups.
Yeah.
Every time you say try, it's a no, I will.
Yep.
I'm going to try to build a business. No, I will build a business. He's like, all right, 20 push-ups.
Yeah, who said try? Try. You think when they went to war, like, we're going to try to win this? No, I don't think. Whatever side you think the person running for office goes, I'm going to try to win. No, they think they're going to freaking win.
Yeah, when Trump started, he's like, I'm going to win the election.
Yeah, he didn't go, oh, we'll try. We'll see what happens. See how it works out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. You vote for that guy.